I didn't get on that flight expecting anything to happen. I wasn't trying to prove a point, make a statement, or teach anyone a lesson. I was just a dad trying to get home with my family, tired, a little jet-lagged, and honestly looking forward to a quiet seat and a few hours where nobody needed anything from me. Funny how life works, right? Sometimes the moments that change you don't announce themselves. They just sit down right behind you and start talking loud. It was early morning at Harbor City International, one of those airports that feels like it runs on status instead of time. You could smell espresso jet fuel and entitlement in equal parts. My wife and I were traveling with our daughter 7 years old, excited, curious, and blissfully unaware of how the world sometimes treats people who don't look like they belong. We were early, as usual. We always are. That habit came from years of being told directly or indirectly that we should be grateful just to be included. We were sitting in a quiet lounge area near the window. Nothing flashy, just comfortable. My daughter was coloring tongue slightly out, completely focused. I remember thinking how peaceful it felt, and then I felt it change. You know that feeling when the air tightens, when someone walks into your space already annoyed, already looking for friction. I smelled her perfume before I heard her voice. Sharp, expensive, intentional. "Excuse me," she said. "Not the polite kind. The kind that assumes you've already done something wrong." I looked up. She was white, late 30s, maybe dressed perfectly posture-stiff with confidence. The kind of confidence that comes from never being questioned. She crossed her arms and looked around like the room was hers. "You're in my area," she said. "This section is for priority members." I told her calmly that we'd been seated here by the airline. That was it. No attitude, no challenge, just a fact. She smiled, but it wasn't warm. It was instructional. I highly doubt that she said, "They probably made a mistake." My wife tensed beside me. My daughter stopped coloring and looked up eyes wide, sensing something was wrong, even if she didn't know what. I smiled because I've learned over the years that politeness can be armor. "I don't see names on the chairs," I said lightly. That's when her face changed. Not angry yet, offended, like someone had dared to talk back. She leaned closer. "Don't make this difficult," she said. "People like me don't sit back there so people like you can pretend." There it was, clear as day. No code, no dog whistle, just entitlement in its natural state. I stood up slowly. I'm taller than she expected. Not threatening, just present. "We're boarding soon," I said. "You might want to find another seat before you embarrass yourself." I didn't insult her. I didn't raise my voice. I just ended the conversation. And that, apparently, was unforgivable. At the gate, she hovered behind us. Close. Too close. Like she wanted us to feel her breathing. When boarding started and we walked down the jet bridge, I felt that familiar mix of irritation and resignation. I've been here before in different versions. But then we stepped into the cabin, turned left, and I watched her expression collapse in real time. Row 1. Our seats. She stopped dead, confused, then angry, then something close to panic. Her boarding pass said row 2, right behind us. The universe has a sense of humor sometimes. She sat down hard and immediately started complaining. Space, noise, the environment. When my daughter laughed, not screamed, just laughed, she snapped, "Control your child." I turned slowly. "It's her birthday," I said. "She's happy." She rolled her eyes. "This is first class, not a playground." That's when I warned her, calmly, once. "Don't talk to my daughter like that again." She heard threat where there was none. She stood up, voice rising, accusing me of intimidation, claiming she felt unsafe. The cabin went quiet in that heavy way where everyone pretends not to listen but listens anyway. A flight attendant came over, then another. She refused to sit, tried to push toward the cockpit. That's when I sent one message. Just one. No drama, no anger, just facts. At cruising altitude, she noticed my work phone. Not a normal one. Secure, purpose-built. Her imagination filled in the rest. She shouted words you never shout on a plane. Detonator. Device. Panic rippled through the cabin like electricity. Someone gasped. Someone dropped a glass. I closed my laptop and waited. The lead purser arrived. She didn't look at me like a suspect. She looked at me like someone she recognized. She took a call, nodded. Then she made an announcement that rewired the entire cabin. She explained that the aircraft was part of a fleet acquired by an investment group 2 years earlier, a group I happened to run, that security would be waiting at our destination, that certain privileges were being revoked due to disruptive behavior. The silence after that was loud. I didn't turn around. I didn't need to. When we landed, authorities boarded. They walked past us, stopped behind us. I heard her voice break. I heard her name. I heard certainty collapse into confusion. As they escorted her away, I looked at her once. Not with anger, with disappointment. "Money makes life easier," I said quietly. "It doesn't make you better." 6 months later, I saw the video. Viral. Millions of views. Commentary. Laugh tracks. She became a symbol, not because she was special, because she was common, and I wondered how many times she'd done that before to people who couldn't afford to stand still. So here's my question for you. Was that justice or just consequence? Have you ever been judged by a glance, a tone, a label you didn't choose? And when the moment came, did you shrink? Or did you stay right where you were? Tell me in the comments. I read them all.